immersion in the question, uh, why is it that the predication of a definition or determination of Dasein in the philosophy that has the name Heidegger over it is continually escaping the grasp? It's because the primary sense of Heidegger is to situate himself where one is back before any paradigm or any predication in the way that Heidegger uses the word philosophy of predication to denounce Hegel and the whole tradition as ontic, because it only deals with things that are said as 2 times 2 is 4 is said as a predication. Dasein already prefigures, and you could see it in the second Schelling lecture where Heidegger goes back over again and again his plaints with those who have, according to him, misunderstood what he was doing in Sein and Zeit. And so there in the, I think it's called Metaphysics of German Idealism, the second Schelling lectures on the freedom, Schelling's lecture on freedom, Heidegger says, what they didn't understand with Sein and Zeit is that I was always thinking of being the whole time. So what he means is he must include this question that, and he gives the example in the earlier work of science is having back behind it at its ground something which gets outside of that science. So it's in the most extreme mathematical theoretical form. Gödel's incompleteness theorem says the same thing. Remembering that Einstein said something along the lines of physics is too important to be left to the physicists. We have to hand it over to Gödel because he's superior. He didn't say exactly that, but he showed the deference to Gödel. Heidegger is trying to show that anything we say is just like, by transfer of meaning, writing down, it is now evening, and then several hours pass, and you look at that same statement written down, it's no longer true. There's something in trying to state the thing and make it present, which doesn't fit with the situation. So therefore, every time we try to say Dasein as though it were something that were standing still in the way that the tradition hint. Because remember that Plato wasn't a dogmatist. He posed a lot of questions as a sort of Socratic teaching, but through the form of dialogue, not through the form of simply saying this is the case, or that I, Plato, say this is the case. So that it seems that in Heidegger's fundamental method being the historical method, and in Heidegger repeatedly saying whatever is still active or essential in Dasein now, we could find out about through the historical record. There seems to be a link to Heidegger and Nietzsche and Plato. And I think of Leo Strauss as saying that Nietzsche's probably the most radical one since Socrates, and exactly because he's doing all kinds of going in different directions totally than Socrates. But likewise, I think also Heidegger and Plato can be shown to still connect like this, even when we. That's the thing that's supposed to be so sacrosanct, right? Is that we're not supposed to give up the predication way of doing things as we find it in Hegel and his absolute and so on. And that this is connected to the notion of universalism in some conceptuals, in the sense that the universal is, has been given a specific content, according to the ideas of law. So, yeah, we could see Dasein and see it as Heidegger wants to show it without giving up the tradition, because there's still a link between Heidegger and Plato is what I want to say.